have mercy is what I'm saying. Gosh, I will play some music in a minute, but I just, do you know what? It actually is starting to really upset me to the point where I feel like I'm going to cry. Like, okay, firstly, I want to say thank you to Andy Burnham and Shabana Mahmood, who obviously understands her religion and has put out this very, very helpful guide on how not to rape women and don't touch girls, and also if you could not mutilate women as well, that would be great. What is this? Like, I'm not being funny. We've all known that these people are coming from places that do not respect women. You know, in Afghanistan now, the women aren't even allowed to show their eyes. They'll get shot in their eye if they show their eyes. So they are wearing a complete veil now from head to toe. Now, I know everybody doesn't want to talk about Islam, but one of the reasons why Western girls are seen as fair game is because they wear whatever they like, such as this top. For instance, someone from a different culture might think that I was asking for it if I was wearing this top, when in fact I'm just wearing a top. Or if I smiled at them, or maybe if my skirt's too short. I've seen this before anyway. I saw it on there was a documentary about it. They actually run workshops for people. I think it was in like Denmark, and I think Denmark might be the place. Have they not just banned everybody? Don't quote me on it. Anyway, Carmelo Anthony. I follow a lot of American cases. I'm a bit of a trial buff, so like if there's ever a trial on I think it's going to be particularly interesting, I'll watch it. So at the moment I'm watching the Cancy case where she murdered her children, and it's quite horrific. And to be honest, there's lots of commentary on it that, you know, she's just evil and she's this and she's that, but I just don't think it's normal for a mother of 3 and a 5 to suddenly kill her children. She was a delivery nurse, as in she helped people give birth. You know, I'm thinking that she probably liked children at one stage, and she had claiming to have psychosis. To be fair, she approached a lot of people for help and no one helped her, and then she ended up doing that. So now she's having a trial, and to be honest, it's just horrible. She's never going to win, even if she's like not guilty because she's insane. She's going to end up in some asylum somewhere. But the point is, it doesn't matter what the outcome is. She's lost her 3 babies. She's also paralyzed now from the waist down because she threw herself out the window after she'd done it. Anyhow, I think it's a really interesting case, and it's one that I found interesting because it's to do with a lot of medications that they sort of dish out like Smarties to people. So I wish people would just listen, actually, and stop venting their anger at this woman, because I think she's probably the most angry at herself. She's probably the most devastated. You're never going to beat her in terms of how bad you feel about this. So I'm just listening because I've found the information about the medication and the counselling that she received and the lack of help and support, even though she put herself into an inpatient facility. Anyway, it's an interesting one. The case that I'm talking about, though, is Carmelo Anthony. So he was actually convicted I think earlier on this year. He was found guilty of murder. He murdered Austin Metcalf. Now, these two were at a track meet. They were 17 years old at the time, from different schools. Carmelo Anthony was from one school. Austin Metcalf is in another one. They were sitting in the bleachers. If you don't know what the bleachers is, it's those rows of seats. So they're sitting in the bleachers, and they had like a tarpaulin tent over the top of them. So the team for schools was sat under their own tent. It started raining. Carmelo Anthony comes along from a different school. Bearing in mind, Austin Metcalf had been told by the teacher to supervise the tent, make sure that everything was okay. He was obviously a trusted student. So when Carmelo Anthony came along and a few people asked him to leave and he didn't, he was approached by Austin Metcalf, who asked him to leave. Carmelo Anthony said something along the lines of "make me," to which he tried to move him. And then Carmelo Anthony went into his bag and got a knife and stabbed him straight in the heart, and then ran away, discarding the knife in the bleachers somewhere, which was found later on. And Austin Metcalf died where he was stabbed in the arms of his identical twin brother. So I think that's quite a straightforward case, if you ask me. One boy stabs another boy. Why have you even got a knife at a track meet? No, you cannot stab someone in the heart if you're in a place that you shouldn't be and then you actually provoke them. That isn't self-defense, and that's what they're claiming. So now, oh, sorry, I forgot. The most important part of this is that Carmelo Anthony, the murderer, was a black guy, and Austin Metcalf, the victim, was white. And so obviously that means that loads of people just don't care about it, and that the black guy obviously must be innocent, because what does it matter if a black guy stabs a white guy? It's so disgusting. You know, these people that are outside the court, like, screaming for justice for Carmelo, the murderer, and they're like, oh yeah, well, I know that one life's been lost, but we don't think that we should lose 2 lives. What? No, one life hasn't been lost, it was taken. He took it and now he's in prison. But apparently it's racist. Everything's racist. And Carmelo apparently was, you know, in self-defense, bless him, in this little place. And I think he was probably a horrible bully, is what he was, thinking he was hard, carrying a knife to school. And now you stabbed someone, killed them, and now you're in prison. That sounds like justice to me. But unfortunately, America has got the same issues that the UK has. They have race grifters. Now, these may be people that are minorities, or they could be my favourite, which are white liberals. They probably are wearing the black and white checky scarf, and they've probably got a tote bag with something offensive written on it. Like, oh, I don't know, like river to the sea, even though they probably don't even know what river or what sea. Because obviously it was from the River Nile to the Red Sea, yeah? Stupid. That was a joke. Anyway, so now in this country, we've got the same race grift going on with Jason Arde. It's like, just because he's black, he is able to do something wrong. He is able to make mistakes. That happens, he's human. But the lack of accountability is the issue that I have. I don't understand this lack of accountability. And then this whole mob, like this vigil that Jason Arde had, which was obviously not a vigil. Vigils, don't they all stand and have candles and things and pray? That wasn't a vigil. That was like a hate march against people that want to tell the truth. And if he hadn't have been working at an elite university and hadn't been giving TED Talks and hadn't been doing all the other stuff that he's been doing, or brought out a memoir, which apparently got like over £1 million for, and no one's actually questioning the publisher or questioning anyone else. Apparently Cambridge University knew 2 weeks after they appointed this man, maybe even before he actually started the role, that there was issues with plagiarism. So they still allowed him to start and put him on the poster, knowing that he was lying. And then they had him there for 3 years, probably dishing out quite a lot of other untruths. Anyhow, my point is that it's not about the colour of your skin. It's about right or wrong. Right and wrong, right and wrong. And I think that Jason Arde has done untold damage, not just for other black academics and scholars that want to get on. They will, I feel like, won't be given the benefit of the doubt anymore. I think I think he's proven that DEI is nonsense. I mean, I always thought that it was about the right person for the job. So, for instance, if you had two guys that had the exact same qualifications and skills, and you had a job, but you hadn't had your quota for your minorities, then you take on the minority. But you're not like missing out on skills because this guy is as qualified as the other guy was. Do you see? I still don't think it's right. I think it should be the best person for the job, regardless of skin colour or sex. I just don't think it's right anymore. That's what I think. And so basically, we've had that trial's going on. He might get a new trial because apparently everyone thinks it's unfair. That's irritating. And all of these trials obviously are paid for by the taxpayer. So it's just more money that the taxpayer has to dish out. For instance, in this country, we just pay so much money in appeals for people that have come out of prison and then they appeal their visa and they say, no, I want to stay here because of family life or whatever else they say. Well, what about the victim? I think if you take someone else's human right, if you don't care about human rights so much that you are willing to take someone else's, so you rape them, then you don't get human rights. You get bed and board. That's it. Like, stop with the nonsense. I'm so sick of it. You've got, like, I've also got another idea of how you could sort the prison system out. Maybe you could stop arresting people for social media stuff, because that's nonsense and it's not a crime. I mean, we didn't even know it was a crime. It's only a crime in 1984. So the government should read 1984, or maybe they have, I don't know, because they're trying to put it into place. It's very bizarre. I actually heard the other day that the police have a thought cause that they can send you on now. So if you've written something that they don't like on the internet, they send you on a thought course. Never before have I ever felt like my mind is being, like, I don't know what the word is. I honestly don't know what the word is, but it's making me feel, I don't know, something like my body feels. Like I'll watch something and I know that you're talking nonsense, but you want me to believe you and you're going to tell me that my thoughts are nonsense. It's almost like the same as going through domestic abuse. It's like someone's trying to tell you that the sky's pink when you can look out and see that it's blue, but at some point, if they keep telling you it's pink, you'll start to believe it because you'll go insane. Isn't that like coercive control or something? Isn't that? I feel like we're being gaslit by the Labour Party, and now we've just got a prettier PM to do it for us. But he's just as dense, and I just don't know what to say anymore. This leaflet, like, what are we supposed to say? Sorry, Mr. Rapist, please don't rape me. Have you read the leaflet from Home Office? You obviously haven't, because I'm sure if you had done, you wouldn't want to. And we also just put the link in to do with the fact that these are men coming from Islamic countries who do not respect women at all, literally at all. And could we also maybe have the link between Aisha, you know, the child bride of their guy, and the fact that she was 6 years old when he married her, his favourite wife, but he waited until she was 9 to consummate. So, you know, there's that. At least he had a little bit of morals. I think she was still playing with dolls though. Died in her arms, I think. I'm no expert. Anyway, I think we should just maybe put that link in to correlate, considering that they love their religion so much that they call their kids after this dude. I would imagine that they're not shocked or disgusted by his child bride. I think that they probably think that child brides are cool, like, not a problem, because he did it and they seem to want to be him. Anyway, the government should really read in to some Islam. They should speak to ex-Muslims, is what they should do. because you know that you're in a cult if you can't leave with dignity. That's it. And I don't think you can leave with dignity. I think you leave with death threats. So there's that as well. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. Yes, UK is amazing. It's the most amazing country in the entire world, which is why everyone wants to come here. We are peace-loving, lovely people who are very tolerant, and we are now at a point where we cannot take it anymore. We are just over it. So I think there needs to be a general election for sure. I didn't vote for Labour anyway, but I definitely didn't vote for the devolution of power, which just means you're going to put corruption all over the place. I mean, some of these councils we need to investigate because of the corruption from the grooming gangs. So why are we giving out power to them? And does that mean that, like, there's going to be different laws in different areas? It doesn't make any sense. Look at America, don't work there. I've never felt so much that the politics of this country are literally eating into my character. It's like forcing me down this path. Now, I can't go down the crazy path. I'll never say that a boy is a girl and a girl is a boy or whatever. And to be honest, if vaginas don't make you a woman, then why do men who think they're women want to get one? Why do men think they're better women? Why do men think that they even know what a woman is? Because I don't know what a man is. I haven't got the faintest clue what it would be like to be a man, and I wouldn't pretend. Because it's weird. And to be honest, there's been trans people around forever. They've always been around. They kept themselves to themselves. It was the weird trans people that have some kind of weird misogynistic sex fetish, turning pride into something that, like, you don't want to look at. It looks like pride should now it should be like a nighttime entertainment now, because it's not a daytime viewing. It's not for children anymore. It's like, just because you're gay, I don't want to know what you do in your bedroom. I think that's okay. Like, great, be gay, find a partner, skip along, whatever. But just because you're gay, do you have to come out in chaps and show us your ass? Or, like, it doesn't make any sense to me. It kind of cheapens it all. It's like, I don't think that actual gay people like pride at the moment. I don't think that actual, like, gay and lesbian people, I don't think they like the rest of the alphabet, because the rest of the alphabet actually has nothing to do with anything. And the Q, now, I don't even say that word, because to me, that was as bad as the F word when I was growing up. You would never say that to someone, you know, call someone the Q word. And I still don't, because I think it's bizarre how that suddenly changed. But basically, lesbian, gay, bisexual, those three things are all to do with the person that you are attracted to. Go for it. The rest of it is to do with mental health issues, which now we are now trialling kids. You know, the Supreme Court has just said that we're going to trial kids for blockers. So is it going to be your kid that they try? And if it is going to be your kid, please, 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 can I just ask you to watch at least 3 ex-transitioners, please, and why they detransitioned, and the fact that being trans never worked, that they had infections, whatever else. You lose the ability for sexual pleasure, you're probably going to lose the ability to have children, etc, etc. I don't think that we should be cutting off healthy tissue from anybody. It's weird. Like, we shouldn't be making ourselves a science project. There was a documentary that I'm going to watch actually on Amazon about a doctor who had, like, a weird interest in amputees and actually removed his own legs and was like seen as some kind of pioneer, you know, doctor, because he was doing all this stuff. And then everyone's like, I think he's been arrested, or, you know, he's been struck off as well. But I was like, well, what's the difference between that and being a trans person who's trying to push your trans agenda onto the patients? What is the difference? And that woman that's from the UK that used to be a doctor, but she's not a doctor anymore, and she's gone off to the States to sell blockers basically and hormone replacements or whatever else she's selling to children. She needs locking up, seriously. One day, you know, in the not so distant future, this will stop and there will be thousands and thousands of young people, and maybe not young people, maybe older people as well, but it's the young people that didn't actually have the consent. Because if we say young people can't consent to have sex, if we say young people, if they do something wrong, as in they commit a crime, we say their head isn't 100% yet. The prefrontal cortex hasn't got to the ability that it could in their adult life. So you make allowances for that when you come to sentencing. If we say that kids aren't allowed to drink alcohol, kids aren't responsible enough to drive, kids have to wait till they're 18 to have a tattoo. But you can decide that you want to chop your knob off. I mean, I just don't. That's my view. I'm sure I'll get some hate for this, but you know what? I don't really care, because I know that I'm speaking the truth and I'm protecting children, as we have always agreed to do in this country. Rant over. I'm going to go and play some ukulele. I wish I didn't have to have these rants, but I get so frustrated at the world. It's like, just government, go back in your box. You're supposed to just you're not supposed to be so present in our living room. You're not supposed to ban us from having opinions. Please just stop. It's too much. It's really too much. All we want you to do is keep our streets safe and allow us to debate and discuss whatever we wish to. The man that just got charged for the bacon picture, can you just tell me what law did he break? Because Brits have such an incredible humour. It's one of the things that I love about this country. We are so sarcastic, we ridicule. It's the way that we move through problems and the way that we get through things. We'll laugh at it, because what else can you do? Cry? But now we're not even allowed to have a sense of humour, apparently. I just don't get it. And you know what? The other thing is that this Jason Ardo thing, I think that the press are going to be shut down even more. The government are going to say, you know, our freedoms are gone even more. So we need the press. We need the press to report. And reporting on the truth, it doesn't make them liable to anyone. You reported on the truth. That's what we want you to do. Do that more often, please. Anyway, I'm exhausted. Have a good evening.